Hi everyone, my name is Nicolette and I am here today to share some information that you may not know about the ingredients in your nail polish. As many of you might be aware, there are ingredients called the big three that you need to avoid while purchasing your nail polish. Well, if you're like me, you assume that many of the big brands had already jumped on the bandwagon and eliminated these. In fact, one of my most expensive nail polishes that I purchased actually contains one of the main three. So let's go over what the main three, called the big three, are. The first is dibutyl phthalate, abbreviated DBP. And dibutyl phthalate is a reproductive toxin. It's important that if you're pregnant, you try to avoid any dibutyl phthalate that may be contained in your nail polish. The second ingredient is toluene. I don't know if many of you have this same problem, but when I put on nail polish, I sometimes will get a slight headache for about the first hour. It's usually when the paint's drying and I can still smell the fumes from the polish on my fingers. Well, I thought that maybe, I was just sensitive or whatever the case may be. But if your nail polish still contains toluene, it does affect the central nervous system, which can give you a headache. And then the third ingredient that you should really avoid is formaldehyde. And surprisingly, yes, there are major companies that still use formaldehyde in their nail polish. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen, and it is also an irritant. Many people have allergies to it. It can be a skin irritant, cause inflammation, things like that. If you are inhaling it, it is a known carcinogen, so definitely something to remember. And then I just discovered an ingredient that I would think would be on there as maybe potentially a fourth ingredient that should really be avoided, and that is aluminum powder. It's a known carcinogen as well, and even though, for example, Revlon nail polishes don't contain the big three, they do have aluminum powder in their nail polish, and whenever I use nail polish from Revlon, I get the headache. And even though it doesn't have those main three ingredients, it could be caused from aluminum powder. So I discovered all of this by running across a website. The website was ewp.org/skindeep. It's the Environmental Working Group. And basically, it's a database that lists, they're like a ranking system. So number 1 would be the safest for a beauty product, and number 10 would be a high toxic level. So I went ahead and I did a search on many of my nail polishes I had here. So it's pretty hard to read the ingredients in your nail polish. Like, for example, here's OPI, and you have to peel back the label, and the ingredients basically need to be, under a really good light and microscope in order to even read them. So with the website EWP, they have all the ingredients pretty much right there. You can see for yourself what they are, and then they break it down, and each ingredient, they tell you exactly why the nail polish got a rating. Like, for example, Essie actually has a 6 or a 7 out of 10, which is really disappointing because a lot of my nail polishes are Essies. I actually have an Essie label right here, and I did find formaldehyde resin as one of the ingredients listed in my most recent purchase, which is the Prima Ballerina shade. I got this about 3 months ago. I've been doing a little more research, and formaldehyde resin isn't necessarily as dangerous as formaldehyde, so it's not a huge warning sign, but there were other ingredients in the Essie nail polish that gave it the ranking of 6 or 7. And same with the OPI. Even though they don't technically contain the big three, they do contain formaldehyde resin. The only color that I found in my OPI collection that didn't have the formaldehyde resin was this one. It's called the Color to Watch. But all of my other OPIs had the formaldehyde resin in it. So the verdict's still out. I'm not completely gonna chuck all of my OPIs. For example, my Sally Hansen Complete Salon Manicure, I did find a phthalate in there. It's not the DBP, the dibutyl phthalate, but it is a phthalate. It's a phthalate synthetic flour. So I'm pretty sure that any phthalate of any kind isn't the best to have. And then the one I was talking about earlier, the really shocking one to me, was my big splurge. It was the NARS nail polish. It was $17. And I just went on Sephora website, and it contains DBP, dibutyl phthalate, and it's just listed right there. It's like the 4th ingredient, dibutyl phthalate. So it's really disappointing. It's $17, but I'm not going to support this brand, and it's in my trash pile. So moving on, let's go ahead and look at the positive. There are non-toxic nail polish brands that are out there, but you just have to do your research, and it's disappointing, but you just can't trust the products here in the US. In Europe, they have the European Union law, which basically bans certain ingredients in beauty products and other consumer products, which would be great if we had such a thing. I mean, we do have the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, but they don't necessarily ban a lot of these ingredients. So there are these toxic ingredients widely out there in many of your beauty products. And there are good brands out there. The good brands that are non-toxic, Big 3 free, DBP, TFF. There's one company called Cheeky Monkey, and they have some really cute names for their nail polishes. They are pricey. They're about $15 a pop. But if I'm spending $17 for a NARS nail polish that has DBP in it, I would much rather spend, $2 less and get a brand that is non-toxic and definitely does not have any of those 3 ingredients. The second recommendation would be Aqua Ella. It's a water-based nail polish. It's gotten really great reviews. I would be skeptical at first. Water-based nail polish, is it high quality? Is it going to last? A lot of these green products, they're great for the environment, they're great for your body and everything, but the product just isn't the best. So I'm anxious to get a bottle of Aqua Ella. It's another pricey one at $16. But the thing is with nail polishes, at least in my experience, that I've had a lot of them for, up to 2 years before they start drying out and I need to toss them. So, if you find your favorite shades, I tend to only wear about half a dozen shades that I have over 40, but I only stick to those 6. So if you're smart about, picking out the colors you're going to wear, I would definitely recommend investing. So another brand that has been widely accepted for the Big 3 free is Zoya, and a lot of pregnant women are aware of this brand and they use it. Sally Hansen also, I would definitely still read the ingredients on the Sally Hansen because I did find a phthalate in the Complete Manicure. I just feel that if in Europe these products are banned and they're not even allowed on the shelves, then why are people why are we in America still told that it's okay to buy these brands? Or hopefully we can become more like our fellow Europeans and let these companies know that we're not going to accept these ingredients in our products anymore. So I hope you found this video informative, and if you have any other suggestions or brands that you like that are non-toxic that you find are really high quality, I would love to know about them.